Good morning. In this miserable weather, thank you all for coming. Will the delegate assembly please come to order? Captain Palenzuela, would you please lead us in the pledge?
My pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. Please, while we await the information on quorum, it looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure we do, but why don't you be looking over the minutes? And we will not hold PBSO any longer than we have to, so why don't we bring up the law enforcement report?
Great, thank you.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Hill, I gave him some time off, well-deserved time off, so he's on vacation. So you just have me this morning. Just want to say, remember we're in the midst of hurricane season. There's some depressions that are out there. I don't know if they're going to affect us or not. I think we got the latest advisory that one of them that looked like might be coming our way is dissipating. But again, take care of yourselves, take care of your neighbors, start stocking up on your supplies, your water, batteries, anything that you might need. You know, as you make trips to the grocery store, stock up the house so that you have those things available. I'm going to go over the law enforcement report in a moment, but something else about situational awareness. When you're out recreating and all the great amenities that Century Village offers, don't forget to keep an eye on your neighbors and your friends that are out there. Florida has very high heat in the summer, and if people aren't hydrating or if someone forgets a medication, they may slip into some type of critical need. We did have a drowning at one of the pools in the village. It was unfortunate. So fortunately, someone saw the individual in the pool, and they attempted a rescue. They rescued that individual, and they did CPR. But just be aware when you're out in Century Village, if someone looks like they're having any kind of heat issues or they may need some type of attention, let security know or someone else know so we can get them the help they need through fire rescue. All right, so for July, we had a pretty light month. We had about 277 calls for service and only 42 cases reported. For traffic, we conducted 57 traffic stops, 22 resulted in citations, 34 written warnings, and 2 verbal warnings, and there were 3 accidents within the village, which is pretty good. For our crime, not too much to note. Cases of interest, we had 1 auto theft. It was an individual that was a friend of the son, ended up borrowing the car. So brought it back, but then the car and this individual left again. So we do have leads on that, and the detectives are working the case. We had a burglary to a residence, 1 burglary. The Detective Bureau worked the case, and it was related to the cleaning lady that was there. So they hope to, they recovered some of the stolen jewelry at a local pawn shop, and they should be culminating that case soon with an arrest. Only 1 burglary to a vehicle, but unfortunately it was left unlocked. And you know, Lieutenant Hill and I every month say, don't take it for granted. You live in a great community, it's gated, good security, lock your cars. People are looking for crimes of opportunity, and unlocked vehicle is the #1 way that they can go ahead and be opportunistic. Only thing taken from there were bank documents. That individual was told to notify their, put a lock on their ID. Only 2 fraud cases. One of them was a credit card used at a bank. I'm sorry, a credit card that was used at a local gas station, and the bank was notified. And then the other one, this is a new one, I haven't seen this before, but an unknown person or suspect got a hold of a victim's library card. And what they did was they rented they checked out a bunch of DVDs, and you know DVDs can be expensive. So they fraudulently used the library card, took all these DVDs, and then the victim got a call from Palm Beach County Library, hey, we need our 8 sets of DVDs back. And he's like, I haven't rented any DVDs or checked any out. So be aware, that's another account now you have to monitor to make sure no one's taking advantage of you in that respect. We did have three thefts. One of them involved a decal to a vehicle that was taken off a license plate. The other involved Palm Beach Water Utilities, Palm Beach County Utilities. Apparently a water meter was forced open. That was taken care of. And then the other one relates to the burglary. It was a theft regarding, and it may be related to the same cleaning person. The Detective Bureau is looking into that. Some jewelry was taken. Are there any questions for the Sheriff's Office that I can help you with? No? Thank you, John. So, are we good?
No questions
No
for
question.
PBSO?
All right, I'll be at the 1 o'clock meeting.
All right.
All right.
You
Great.
are, as always, welcome to the security meeting this afternoon.
Yep, I'll see you today at 1. Yes, sir.
All right. You've had lots of time to look over the minutes. Are there any corrections that you know?
Excuse me,
Sorry, Dave, one question.
we
What?
have a bicycle accident over at Southampton.
Hold on, let me check for you. You can keep going. I'll check for you here on the side.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, no, you got nothing on that bike accident? Oh, okay, Frank. It's funny you'd bring it up because we had a lawsuit roll through the door from a bike accident that occurred in 2016. Couldn't believe it. Took all this time to get that complaint rolling.
Where did you say the bike accident was?
On the fairway.
On the fairway?
In front of Building D and C, Southampton.
Yeah, it's probably one of the traffic crashes. They were minor, so I didn't pull a lot of information, but I can bring that back to the 1 o'clock meeting for you.
Okay,
Yep,
thanks a lot.
you're welcome.
What do we got, Fausto? What is it, 140? All right. Pleased to announce that we have 140 signed-in delegates. We have a good, solid quorum, which won't disappear if one person rolls out. All right. So let's get back to the minutes. Any corrections that anyone notes to the minutes? Yes.
Good morning. Carolyn Speranza, Sheffield Q. I noticed in the minutes that it indicated that Sheffield Q was not duly represented at last month's meeting. I was, in fact, here. I have notes from it. Normally, it wouldn't be a major problem. However, as you know, we lost the quorum by one person.
Right.
And I think that's something that should be looked into. It may have just been an oversight, but in fact, we couldn't transact business last month because of that close call.
And if we made an error, I'm most apologetic. Sandy will check it. Sometimes the delegate will sign in 1 or 2 or 3 lines down, and we don't pick it up. So,
And as I say, normally that would not represent a problem, but
Yeah, of
unfortunately,
course,
we ended
of
up
course.
losing the quorum and not transacting business.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Same problem, Stratford H.
All right, sir. All right. We can't really hear you.
Stratford H.
Stratford
H.
H?
I was here, it's on the list.
Okay. All right. Sandy, you getting this?
I am.
Okay. Sir, Matt, what have I got here? Sir? Yeah, go ahead.
Kevin Hackett, Berkshire H. Just a correction here on the presentation, Century Boulevard Fence Project. It wasn't noted here, but I think the chair had said there would be that information in the UCAR Reporter for August 1st, pictures and everything. Did not show up. But it's not noted in the notes here that you did say it would be, and I had owners who were looking for that, and other people who get the UCAR Reporter, snowbirds who get it out of town, who were a little miffed that they didn't see it in the current UCAR Reporter that came out last weekend or online.
I gotcha. All right. Well, fortunately, the same proposal is on the table that the delegates have had a month to look at. Yes, I remember it was stated it would be something in the paper. I don't know why it isn't there.
And the report we had is just basically the contract, but not the details, like the fencing pictures and the diagrams that we couldn't see on the board.
The proposal is actually in your packet.
I'm looking at, it's just the financial details for a contract, right?
Right.
No pictures, no
Oh, I
diagrams?
got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Drop the ball again.
Yeah. All right. It's interesting that this issue is coming up. Folks, I'd like to say every time I get something like this, we are not reconstructing the Grand Coulee Dam on Century Boulevard. I assure you. We're stringing a chain link fence and laying 1,350 feet of concrete. This is one of the most common, simplest construction projects imaginable. There's no great rocket science involved here, all right? You have the proposal in front of you. We've had a lot of complaints about the lack of that fence, so I don't want to lobby too hard, but I hope you'll approve going forward with this project. All right. Anything else on the minutes? Going. The minutes will be...
Come to the mic.
Wait a minute, where are you?
Come to the mic.
We don't have a shot at hearing you. Please come up to the mic. Your question may be of interest to many. Come up.
David brought this thing to me because we have a special rebate. If we file, we get another.
Mr. Grossman is waving some little tchotchke at me. Which reminds me, we are putting this on video as always. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hi. My name is Bella Sable, and I am from Gulf's Edge. This is a plain logic, like a logic question or input about the fence. Every person has a different perspective about the fence. However, we don't need the Wall of China here, and we don't need a Mexico fence around here. Yes, not a Mexican fence. However, we need something to protect us.
Dear, do you have any issue with the minutes?
1 minute. Okay, I was here by the last meeting also.
Huh?
And I was here a month ago when you had the other meeting, and some people raised some very nice questions and opinions, and they were put down. I think that every person that has something to say should be heard, because I live here and this is important to me, and I assume to other people also. People we have a very intelligent audience here, very nice, normal people, and they have an input, and they should be heard. People are coming here from the north, from the east, from the south, from all over, and there are many new ideas today.
Ma'am, everyone will be heard.
1 minute.
But right now,
It's going to take just a minute. I'd like to finish.
We're dealing with the minutes. Do you have any problem with the minutes? Any corrections to the minutes?
This is a general. I just want to raise this voice, and then give me a minute, and I'll be seated.
All right, we have obviously good of the order. You can bring whatever these issues are, but do you have any corrections to the minutes?
I forgot my glasses at home.
Okay, dear. All right, thank you.
But I had prepared this from before. Logically...
Do you have any corrections to the minutes?
Actually, this is a reference to whatever I heard last month.
Do you have any corrections to the minutes, dear? Please. This is very simple.
But you see, while we are arguing, let me speak out these few words, and I'd have been seated already by now. Yeah.
What you're saying is...
All right. You're clearly out of order. Please bring this issue back.
Okay, but you are changing the subject now. This is about the fence.
Bring it up later, honey. This is the one
Okay, I'd like to make a comment about the fence.
Dear, you're out of order. You're out of order. If you have corrections to the minutes, there'll be plenty of time later for these other issues, which I'm not putting down. They're very important issues, but not at this piece of where we are. All right. Seeing no further corrections to the minutes will be accepted with corrections as noted. Thank you very much. All right. Which brings us to the treasurer's report. Yeah, we will.
Good morning,
Treasurer's
everyone.
report. Is Sebastian here?
Yes, I'm right here.
Oh, hi, Sebastian.
It's a long table.
Huh?
In your packet, you'll see the January to June 2019 versus the budget. Right now, we're picking the dates for the upcoming 2020 budget. Everyone's input, so I guess we'll get those dates by the next delegates meeting. Oh, they've been approved. Okay, so I guess you'll get notice of those dates. Great. So normally what we typically do is I'll put on the screen, we'll use some of our estimates through 2019, and we'll also have a preliminary budget. And we basically just go line by line down and work on, creating a system that works for everyone, going over what things cost, where we can try to save money, what expenses are, trying to go up and things like that. As far as our year goes for 2019, right now we're still currently within all of our budget parameters. There's a few items that are weighted a little bit heavier on the first 6 months versus the last 6 months. So right now, as long as everything stays in this direction, we should be okay. There's a few things that need to be changed on the profit and loss that I'll correct for July, and that's the interest for January to June. Right now, we have the CD, the $3 million CD that's set for renewal in August. That decision will be made soon about whether we pull that out and move it to Seacoast or if we reinvest it and put it back into something else. That interest will get calculated, and then we'll have that for what we've earned on that. Then for Seacoast with the ICS sweep account, right now we have, to stay FDIC insured, they basically take $250 in sections and move it to different banks. But that's the one where we've been earning around 1.8%, so that's been good. From January to June 2019 compared to the previous 6 months from that is basically where you'll see that on, I think it's the 4th page of your financials. You'll see at the very bottom that the net income is up from the previous year, and that's where we think that we're going to stay within budget. That's all we have to report today. I hope everyone can make it out to the August 14th budget meeting. It's a lot of fun and definitely get a lot of insight. Do I have any questions?
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning. Usually we pay $100 for the investigation. The actual cost, I think it's about a third of it. So it does create a big surplus, which sometimes is being using for lawyer, whatever you need. But according to my previous experience, is a huge surplus on those monies. What is happening to this money?
Okay, so it's not that it gets used for other. It's not that it gets used for other expenses. Currently, January through June 2019, we've collected $65,300 investigation fees, and we've spent out $48,327 on those investigations. We hope that there is a surplus from investigation fees, but we leave room in there only because there are some investigations that cost more than others. So as of right now, the difference is about $16,000, $17,000. And so, as of right now, it just stays in the general account until the year end. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Ed Grossman, Wellington A. I hope everybody had a good July 4th and a wonderful summer to come. Sebastian, I only have one question. I'm looking at the presentation, and I focused in on the bus transportation, which is one of the items that are coming up today. From what I see, and I just want to be sure I'm reading it right, what it appears is that the expense to date was $426,000. and change, if I could read right.
436, okay.
Okay. You say the budget is 896,000. Is that the budget for the year or the budget for the period? Because it now shows we're under budget by $500,000.
Sorry, so the budget is annualized, so when you look at the budget on here, it's the annual budget. That way we can see what we have left to spend in the budget.
Wouldn't it be more appropriate that you have it on a month-to-month basis? Because we vary. We vary. Normally, when you have this kind of report, in my experience, you have a budget to the period, and then you have a separate budget to the year. So right now, we really don't know if we're ahead or behind.
Understood, sir. Not that I disagree, just that there's two sides to it. In the previous years, we always did it by month, and we split up the budget by month. The problem was when we were giving the information to the assembly, one of the complaints that they had was that we couldn't tell what we had spent up to date and then the budget for what we had left to spend. By doing it this way, it tells us that we still have $460,135 to spend through July through December 2019.
I hear what you're saying. I don't want to belabor the point, but it's been my experience over 50 years that the proper way to do it is budget to date, and if you want to explain it further, budget against the year. We all know that many of these expenses are not paid on an annualized actual basis. But as I look at this, I really can tell if we're ahead or behind now. And I don't think anybody else can. So I think it gives us a distorted picture of whether we're under and over. And I believe on the system that you're using, if I haven't changed, it's QuickBooks. It's just one small adjustment. So I would request that we get it both ways.
Okay, I'll go ahead and I'll put something together, and then we can just add it to the next meeting packet.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I understand that the bus trips were included in the budget. The bus trips.
Oh, the excursions?
The excursions. They were included in the budget, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, now I understand that some of them were canceled. Is that correct?
The bus trips being canceled?
I understand the man sitting next to you, Mr. Black, canceled a couple of the excursions. Is that correct? And what's the reason?
No, we budgeted for fewer trips this year. We didn't cancel any. In the first year they were in operation, they had 4 a month.
4 a month.
It's now down to 2 a month.
But 4 a month was in the budget, wasn't it?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay.
It wasn't something we agreed to when we hired the bus company.
2 a month, that's it.
We had it at 4 a month at one time, yes.
And it wasn't in this budget for?
It's in this budget for 2 a month.
No, I'm asking you, I'm asking you, was in for four trips a year or 2 in this budget?
When we made the budget up last year, it was for 2 a month during 2019.
Okay.
And we didn't cancel any.
I thought there were 4, and you canceled 2.
No.
I just have 2 questions. How much did we get from Atlantic Broadband?
$3,534,300 in 3 installments.
What happened to that money?
It's in our reserves.
I got it.
Other than a piece of it that was used to cut last year's budget for this year, because someone suggested we do that and it was adopted.
Instead of putting it into the reserve, shouldn't it have gone back to the residents?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You don't want the money, residents? It works for me. Okay.
If I can make the suggestion to you, if I give you the $100, then I have to charge you $100 to get it back.
Well, you may not have to charge me $100 for maybe 7, 8, or 9 years.
No, the point is I have it.
You're probably just using the money to fatten up the road reserve because you screwed up the roads, but that's okay.
Jesus, here we go.
I'm so thoughtful of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
When we had the budget meeting and we were trying to keep the monthly and quarterly fees relatively the same, we accounted for that. So in the budget, you'll see that there's like an infrastructural reserves on the budget versus actual, and the contribution of only a portion of the doorway fee that was received in 2019, and then the remaining amount goes to reserves, not just for roads, but we actually have a list. At the August 14th budget meeting, you'll be able to see that list and what we have contributed to each one of those items. And that list covers everything from pumps, long-term road, it covers bus stops, it covers all the infrastructure items that we would need.
Exactly. Yeah, you can put it in the reserve, folks, or you can put it in an upward increase in your coupon. 6 of one, half a dozen the other.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Sebastian. All right. Anything else, Eddie, Treasurer?
No, I think we're pretty well.
That was pretty good. Okay. Let's go into officers' reports. And I actually have some good news to report. One of the unanticipated fallouts of having HBO in our basic cable agreement. HBO gives you a rebate for every single unit. So it's $9 per unit. Do the arithmetic. We have a check from HBO coming for a bit over $70,000. 7,854 times 9. It's more than postage stamps. All right. And I think anything else I have to say will come out in the line items we need to vote on. So let's go around the table. Sandra, do you have anything you'd like to say to us?
Good morning.
Hi.
First of all, the first thing I do when I get back to the office, when there's been questions about whether I've got the